Hello, my friends, family, esteemed colleagues. Uh, I don't know. I must call it stupidity. Never ceased to amaze me. Something I have heard now for the first time. I'm sure this is not new, but a friend of mine tells me, please, can you help? I have a friend that I'm helping to heal, and she was sick since childhood. And she is diagnosed with myalgic encephalomyelitis, chronic fatigue syndrome. And I made a video on this already. I write articles about this. But her situation is more complicated. Now we don't even know what to eat because she was, diagnosed with histamine intolerance or something like this. Now, what the heck does that mean? Let me just see exactly the wording what she said, so I'm not misunderstanding something. Histamine intolerance, yeah. Now, what does histamine? When does body produce histamine? When it wants to cause inflammation. It's a part of the mechanism causing forced hydration. So, of course, nobody likes to be in that state. It causes pain, it causes itchiness, it causes discomfort. What is there histamine intolerance? I mean, what, who? I don't know what to say. If doctor would say something like this to me, I would burst laughing and I would call him in the face that he is a fucking idiot. There's no other words. Moron. What is that else? It's moronic enough to invent disease that we call the chronic fatigue syndrome and myalgic encephalomyelitis. Full mouth of words means only one thing: chronic toxicity caused by severe dehydration. That's it. Here I mentioned the symptoms that this friend is experiencing. Okay, so here are the symptoms: headaches, migraines, of course, toxic blood, temperature regulation problems, dehydration, receding gums, dehydration, do not sweat, even in heat, dehydration, has feeling of much pressure inside of body, inflammation, slow digestion, inflammation, nothing gets absorbed, vision, spots in the visual field, blurry vision, blood toxicity, cannot fall to sleep, blood toxicity. Okay, what else? Low blood pressure, dehydration, bruises easily, problem, again, dehydration, blood vessels are fragile, arteriosclerosis, dehydrated, when muscle dehydrates, when cell dehydrates, they become weak, easily burst, and capillary system, you hit yourself, capillary burst, you get bleeding. What else? What do we have here? Cold hands and feet, dehydration, and poor blood circulation due to all this above. It's always blood toxicity, cellular dehydration. Psoriasis, blood toxicity, dehydration. Blocked sinuses, mucus production, body tries to cleanse, does not have enough water, cannot do it. Allergies, cellular dehydration on level of mucosal tissue. Muscle problems, swollen legs, water retention, toxic accumulation. Okay, bunch of problems. Everything here is caused by toxic body. Body's toxicity is there because body could not cleanse because it's low on plasma. Blood is dehydrated. Blood stays toxic. And toxic blood causes majority of these issues. And then toxins that cannot be taken out gets stuck in a tissue. Toxic blood is not good for hydration, so cells do not hydrate. They become dehydrated and toxic. This is the idea. All chronic diseases, it's the same mechanism, and these are the problems. It's always dehydration, which means lack of minerals and water, lack of plasma. But sensitive or allergic to intolerant to histamine, well, who the freak is tolerant to histamine? Histamine is there produced so it can cause inflammation. My friends, doctors, you should be ashamed of yourselves. You should be freaking ashamed of yourself. I'm, I don't have words to express myself. So the problem with this particular lady was that she started protocol in September. So now it's December. You're talking 3 months. It takes 1 month to cleanse the blood. So first time when you start hydrating with plasma, body's very happy. Oh, plasma is coming, so now I can cleanse the blood. But at the same time as you start cleansing blood, everything is dealt in the body through programs. And then you have a brain processor that calculates what should be done, when, and how. So if the blood is toxic and the body has problem eliminating those toxins because it's low on plasma, so it cannot waste plasma to urinate it or to have diarrhea, even not to sweat it. She doesn't sweat, even when hot, because body is holding on to this little plasma it has for dear life, because she's going to die if she loses any more plasma. So when she drank a little bit at the beginning, body was like, oh, thank God, now we can eliminate this awful stuff from her blood, and she started feeling a little better. But at the same time, the mechanism, the program says, I need hydration, give me more of this, give me more. So, and she drinks more. Blood level is rising. So now blood is diluting, okay? It's never polycythemia, you schmucks. Polycythemia is not a disease. It's dehydrated blood. It's lacking plasma. So, as she hydrates, it's like as I mentioned, a riverbed in a dry season. All the junk is there. River is clean. When it starts raining, water comes, water level rises, all the junk goes in the river, and river becomes polluted. Exactly the same thing is in a body. Body is a planet. And when river rises, when there is more plasma, higher quantity of water, you actually produce also more lymph. It starts going through and starts releasing some of these toxins, and they start going into the blood, making blood more toxic. So don't expect when you start drinking plasma that you're going to feel better and better because you are detoxifying every time you pee more often. No. Your blood is getting cleaner, so you feel better, but then toxin starts releasing from the body, making the blood even more toxic. So symptoms actually may intensify at the beginning. And this is what's happening with her. At the beginning was fine. But then, as soon as blood cleansed a little bit, cellular membrane opened up because now it's cleaner environment, and they start releasing more toxins. And she continued hydrating, then more toxins were released from a tissue. Now, she has a problem with sleeping, falling to sleep. Why? Because blood was toxic, the toxic brain. She's still full of toxins. But now, she does not want to get up at night, so she doesn't have to urinate, so she can sleep. Well, it doesn't work that way, because if you are raising your plasma levels, your body has to eliminate. And most of the cleansing and elimination happens when we are sleeping, when brain is not creating thoughts. So there is more energy left in the body for this process. This is a very energy-demanding process. So yes, you have to urinate at night 3-4 times. You have to flush the stuff out. If you don't, it accumulates in your blood and gives you migraine, muscle pain, blurry vision, foggy brain, inability to fall to sleep, painful joints, cold feeling in the body. Then body, as blood is getting more and more toxic, tries to compensate, so it creates more heat. And then you have heat flashes. So we have to understand one thing. If you do some kind of a protocol, and here we are talking about the self-healers protocol, you have to understand the body and do what is necessary. And if you don't, you should be guided. And as you are guided, you have to listen. You cannot say, well, I'm going to drink my water until 5 o'clock, my plasma, and then I'll stop. So then I urinate, which means you cleanse, your body will cleanse until you have enough blood plasma, because then your Google is working and evaluating what is more important: get rid of these toxins or remain hydrated. And body will eliminate or cleanse only to a certain level, and then it doesn't want to lose more plasma. So it say, okay, I'm okay like this. Yeah, but you don't feel it. You don't feel okay because body is not intelligent as we believe. Body is a freaking electronic robot that is running on programs and has a sensors and has a Pentium chip that evaluates. That's it. And if you do not supply enough plasma, it's not going to cleanse. Or it will keep hydrating because according to programming, the toxins that are there are not as problematic as it is the lower level of plasma. So it will keep hydrating and doesn't care that you have headache. That's not his worry. Body needs more because that's how it's programmed. So this is where we have to understand the body and help it. And if you have to you see, recently, a year ago, this year just flew by. I had a huge detox, and I turned like a canary. I was all yellow, swollen because the cleansing organs could not eliminate fast enough toxins that my body released, especially liver. And what it could not eliminate got stuck in a tissue again. And then lymph goes in a tissue, becomes toxic, and now it's not allowed to flow rapidly back into the blood, not to cause septicemia. Everything is programmed. Everything is running on programs. You have to understand that. So then it holds the lymph, and I was swelling, and I had water retention. In 2 days, I gained 5 kilos extra of liquid in my tissue. Everything got tight, legs, arms, yellow. So I actually had to use diuretic to force the body with extra poison to use this because it's not intelligent. It's not important to the robot what level of toxicity is in the lymph now. It just has a sensor saying it's toxic, so it can only go into the blood slowly, drip, tap, tap, tap. And as you hydrate and more is coming, it cannot go because it's toxic, so it will not let it go. This is what causes water retention. Docs, colleagues, please forget about those lousy books. They are written and approved by Cabal that wants us dead. So what do you think they teach you? Or us? I'm one of you. I was same idiot until I woke up. And I'm trying to wake you up. So don't disregard this. I don't need you to believe me. Just think. Just sit down and try to think a little bit. So it is absolutely necessary, especially at night, for body to be well hydrated. So when I was this yellow, what did I do? And swollen, what did I do? Every time at night, I had to get up and urinate. I drank half a liter of plasma. So I was up every hour. But in the morning, I was fine. I was still swollen, but I felt much better. Okay, I actually had to use diuretic later on for 2 days to unplug a little bit the load because diuretic is poison that is more toxic, and body then sees that blood is more toxic. There is not enough plasma in the blood that can be used, so it will allow and suck some of the toxic liquid from lymphatic system to be able to take the diuretic out from the blood. And this is what is the diuretic effect that takes it out from your tissue because blood has to remain hydrated. So it's just understanding the body. And no doctor understands the body because we have been brainwashed by people that want us dead. And we are trained how to do harm, not how to heal. We are trained exactly to help in the population process. Wake up. Anyway, this histamine intolerance or whatever the name was already, to me it's so funny that I'm out of words. I don't know what to say about it. How can you even say something? How can something like this come out of your mouth, especially if you're professional? Okay, so all these symptoms, and definitely you feel bloated because you are full of liquid. You have to get the liquid out because the liquid is in you is toxic. So you have to put clean liquid to push out the toxic liquid. That's the detox. Water will not do it because water does not have minerals. So body will reject it. It will recycle it. Goes and comes out. Nothing happens with the body. You have to use plasma. Well, my friends, this is another example that shows why doctors cannot heal anybody, proves that there are no diseases, that every disease is nothing more than a label for a set of symptoms. And of course, when I open up here, website, and what do they say about this myalgic encephalomyelitis? Culprit unknown. Nothing new. Nothing new. We know that they don't know. If they would know, they would not do such a stupid things and talk so stupidly, because they would understand where the problem is and how to deal with it. So this is why I'm always saying, if you decide to use the protocol to cleanse and heal, well, then you have to obey it. And one of the number one rules is having diarrhea every day. And you achieve it by drinking, saturating your body with excessive amount of minerals, and you use this saturation to trigger elimination of surplus, diuretic effect in this case also, but it's not toxic. So it is not working that well, but it helps cleansing the blood, but not the body so much, because it's not toxic. So the mechanism that evaluates will always decide, okay, I can tolerate these minerals. I don't want these toxins from a toxic tissue to go into the blood faster than is programmed to allow. So then we need some more toxic stuff to put in the blood to override the program and say, okay, now you have to get that toxic liquid, because the toxic liquid in the tissue is less toxic than the stuff that is now in the blood, and you have to suck it and use it and push these toxins out of the body. That is purpose of diuretic. Excessive amount of salt can help, because if you are really in excess of salt, really too much minerals can be dangerous, becomes toxic. Anything, even the good stuff, in excess becomes toxic. So more toxic you make it, more minerals you get there, the more you are forcing the body to go into this emergency setting. Okay, let's suck this toxic liquid and put it in the blood, because it is less problematic than the amount of minerals. But when you're in that state, then you're extremely thirsty, you're dry and thirsty. So, and scared, because we are so freaking scared from salt that it's not normal. And this is because of the indoctrination process. Always, what is the most important? Kibosh is put on it, so nobody can use it. Who created all the new wars, from Bolshevik Revolution and World War I and World War II? Who created that? Well, you could not talk about these people, because if you mention, you get clobbered, you get rah, 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 because they put themselves as they are the chosen people. They wrote it in the Bible. God said so. And everything we know about recent history goes through their mouth. Oh, Holocaust, they were gassing people. Yeah. We are living on lies. But if you say something about these people, no, they're not this, they're Khazars. Khazars don't exist for years and years. It's the freaking religion. Anyway, don't let me go. So, start understanding your body. Watch my videos. Better yet, read my blog, read my articles. On every end of my video, in every video, at the end, there is a link to my site. There's all the information. If you want to get in touch with me, you want to discuss something, you want me to guide you, whatever, there is a site. There is my email. There are articles. There's a bunch of stuff. And yet, people watch videos and then, oh, how can I get in touch with you? So I said, well, send me an email. Oh, how can I get your email? Learn to observe. We are becoming so robotic, so moronic, that unless it is given to us, fed in a mouth directly, we don't see it, we don't know it. We have to start living like a conscious beings. We have to observe. And this should be based of our experience. Forget about what you heard. Half of America hates Trump. Why? Because television tells them so. He is he is a liar. He is the only president who did everything that he said he is going to do. Only one. Oh, he's a liar. Everybody else was the same. Half of America, of the United States, believes so. And big population in Europe as well. But not as much as Americans, because they are the most brainwashed. Start observing. Don't believe anything what people tell you. I don't believe anything that is written. I don't believe anything I hear. I don't reject it. I let it enter. I think about it, and I leave it there as an information that my brain can use to calculate. And then I make my conclusions. Don't follow. Don't be sheep. Don't be part of a crowd. That's the worst thing you can do. You're individual. Behave like one. Take responsibility. And if you have a disease, chronic disease, all you need is to correct your diet, which should be exactly opposite to everything they're feeding you through media and these so-called experts on plant food and supplements and all that stuff. They know diddly squat. So, my friends, I don't know what else to tell you. Diseases don't exist. Zunzulas, you know, those that nobody ever proved that they exist, but they cause all the diseases in the world, and we have all these things to protect ourselves from these zunzulas. They don't exist. You actually get something that causes the body to create antibodies. You get it when you ask to be protected against zunzulas. And those are toxins. Your body fights these toxins. And then when you check your blood, you find that body is fighting something. Since you don't see anything, oh, it's a zunzula. Yeah, I'm expert. I know it's zunzula. Yeah, I just got one. And I want $1 million. If not, I'm going to release it and whole planet is going to die. Now, if I have enough media to repeat this, man, I get a lot of money, because if I open my hand, everybody's going to die. Media tells you so. Okay, I love you all. God bless us. God open our eyes and save us. Love you all. Till next time. Namaste.